On symmetry lines, remember symmetry lines is when we have a line, like a dashed line or just a line, and when you fold it across that line, you get exactly the same thing on the other side. So now I want to review horizontal, vertical, and diagonals. So horizontal symmetry line would be a line that look like this. And you can imagine the floor that you're on right now. That is the horizontal, and it is in the coordinate plane. We call it the x-axis. Vertical symmetry line would be something that go up and down like this, and you can think of the wall as the vertical line, and then in your coordinate plane you have the y-axis that go like this. Diagonal symmetry line is something that go like this. That's the diagonals, and that is the orange square you see there with the diagonal line. Diagonal symmetry, when you fold it from here to here, it will be the exact same, and that is only when we have symmetry. A shape is symmetrical when we have the symmetry line and we fold it and we get the exact same thing, okay, on the other side. We also have letters in the alphabet with symmetry lines, like the letter H. You have the horizontal symmetry on the H. That means you fold it from the left to the right or the right to the left, and it will be exactly the same. Here are a few more symmetry line, or we also have non-example of symmetry. And so you guys can see that when we have the heart, it can have symmetry line, but when we are shading it differently on the heart, like the purple heart right here, then they are not symmetrical, or this cannot be the symmetry line. Like the TV, you cannot see that is not a symmetry line because we don't have the same control panel on the other side. I want to go ahead and show you guys these blue arrow. We are pointing at the tick mark. Okay, so when we have this on the geometry figure or on the math figure, they are called tick mark. We have the number of tick mark to tell you that they are the exact same length. Okay, so one tick mark will be the same length with the one tick mark. One tick mark will not be equal to the two tick mark length. These are not equal. One tick mark and the two tick mark are not equal. However, the two tick mark and the two tick mark lengths right here are going to be the exact same length. And so in geometry, you will see a lot of tick mark. We can use 3 tick mark, 4 tick mark, and when there are too many tick mark, I might use, the squiggly things to indicate that they are also congruent if I have the squiggly things on the mark on the math figure. Okay, so the number of tick mark need to match to have the exact same length. Okay, so congruent is this part that I circle right here. That is the congruent symbol and sign. I circle it for you. When we use letter, we use the word congruent, and that's a substitution for equal. Congruent is just like equal, but when you give numbers like 4 equals 4 or 7 equals 7, then when we use letter like AB, we don't say equal to CD, we say congruent to CD. So that, remember, geometry is like another language. Congruent, substitute for the word equal when you use letters instead of numbers. While these notation often seem very fundamental, it is important to master and memorize for solving geometry problems later on. So don't skip the simple practice we do now, or just get the answer or copy from someone. I know it's very easy when your friend just say, here, just take it, and then forget about it for now. But remember, these would come back and haunt you in later and more complex math problem. Make sure that you do the practice while it's simple now, and make sure that you memorize it when you can now. I want to go over the geometric symbol that we asked you to look up in your math textbook or in your Google search before. I gave you that before we go over the answer because I want you to memorize it. And something that you are looking up through your math textbook or you're looking it up from the Google search, I think it will stick better. okay? But if you did look it up, and now is the time to check your answers. So correct your answers. If it's wrong, I don't want you to erase it. I want you to go ahead and put the correct answer next to it and only cross out the answer that is wrong, okay, in pencil, hopefully. And then if we have the correction pen, you can do it when you know for sure that's the correct answer. Go ahead and write it in red pen or just in pen. Or maybe you can just go and use a highlighter and highlight the correct answer. But we don't want you to erase and change the wrong answer to the right answers, okay? Why? Because we want to see the mistakes. And when we see the mistake, we will tend to remember it better. If you just erase and write the correct answer in, that's fine too. However, we don't see the mistake that we made. So that is often asked when you're doing the math problems. Put the correct answer to the side and maybe highlight or box it, and then just X out or cross out the wrong answer, but leave it in there, don't erase. Okay, so for angle, we are going to have this symbol, and we use the leaning forward L, not like this, that is like more like a right angle, but this leaning forward L is for angle, the symbol for angle. You are using the symbol for angle, and this end, the sharp end on the angle, that is called the vertex. These are called side of the angle, and this one is called vertex of the angle. Okay, the next symbol, we have angle ABC. So I'm going to move this down. Okay. Angle ABC is where you have 3 letters for the angle. So when you have 3 letters to name the angle, the middle letter is always the vertex. Okay, so this could be A, and then the vertex has to be the middle letter, which is the B, and then this is C. You can have A, B, C, and that's fine, or A, B, C, but the B always end up on the vertex, the sharp end of the angle. Okay, now we have the arc. Arc is always part of a circle. So when you have an arc, you're going to make sure that the curved line is on the top of the AB, and that is called arc. Okay, measure of the arc. When you have the measure of the arc is when we have a little letter M in front, and then the arc is something curved on top of the AB. You can see it in red line right there. Okay, next we are going to have the line AB, and line AB, we just make sure that we have an arrow at both ends of the little dash on top of the AB, just like that. Okay. Ray AB has the endpoint on A, and the ray extend forever in the B direction, right? So this is where order matter. You cannot switch B to the front, especially when the endpoint is on A and it extend in the B direction. Okay, now we have line segment AB, and the line segment AB is where you just have a dash on the top. There's no arrow at the end. Okay, so line segment or segment is the same. Now the length of AB is just the letter AB with nothing on the top. Okay, so the length is when we say AB equal 4 centimeter, that's the length. AB equal 2 feet, that's the length. And we can have many type of unit like meters, centimeters, feet, or and etc. So there are more to that. Okay, congruent symbol, you guys have heard me say that before. This the equal sign with the little squiggly things on top is the equivalent of equal. And we use congruent in letters. When we say letters, AB is congruent to CD. We don't say AB equal to CD. When we say it correctly, it will be the word congruent. And when we have the numbers like -2 is equal to -2, then we can use equal there. But when we use letter, we use congruent sign to substitute the equal. Degree is a very small zero, like an exponent 0. So write it very small and on top of the number. Okay, don't write it at the same length with the number, because then you might mistake that for a 0. But it's a very small exponent. It's a little 0. That's the only unit we use for angle. Now, length, we can have many units, but angle, there's only one unit possible, and that's degree. Okay? Parallel line. Parallel or two line like this, two line like this. Okay, so those are parallel line, but on the math figures, we cannot use the two dash like that. We use the feather. That's where some places call feather, but I like to use arrow. I just say arrow. Okay, so one arrow is going to be parallel with one arrow. It can be pointing this way, it can point this way, it doesn't matter. But the same number of arrow will show that is the parallel line to the other line with the same number of arrows. So I could use two arrows to show this line parallel to this line, and then I could use one arrow to show this line parallel to this line, and then three arrows to show that it's parallel to the line with the three arrow. And remember, the arrow can point in this direction or in this direction, it doesn't matter. Okay, perpendicular is where you have something with the 90 degree, right? So perpendicular like that, you can or can, you may or may not have the little square in the corner to show that it's a right angle or perpendicular angle or perpendicular line. Similar is just a little squiggly thing. Similars is where you have the same shape, but not exactly the same size, okay? So that is for similarity or similar. Triangle is very easy. We just have the three sides that look like that for triangle. And finally, I think this one we added on to the third line down on the right hand side, the measure of angle K. So angle can have just one letter or three letters. Angle K is the vertex where this is, right? That's the K. And then when it's a little bit confusing, when the angle share the side, I will show you later, that's when we must use three letters to call an angle instead of just one letter. This may sound funny, but it is true. And I fall in love with you bongos. It sings a lot of math songs. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys. Hopefully you guys are entertained too.
Where am I? Where in your head? In my head? And who are you? I am your brain. You're the reason I can't read the map. You're too small and stupid. If you are big and smart, we could read the map. The only reason I'm small, or as you say, stupid, is that you haven't trained me, or fed me, or given me exercise. You think brains grow on their own? Well, they don't. We brains are like muscles. We can grow, but you've got to help us grow. Hey, little monkey, did you know? The brain is like a muscle. It can grow. It just needs a little love and exercise so it can grow up to a genius size. Grow your brain, give it work to do. Grow your brain, learn something new. Grow your brain to be a smarter you. Give a challenge a go and help your brain grow. It's true the brain can grow, it just needs exercise. To learn a brand new skill, it takes a few tries. It's not about talent or being born that way. If you try and try again each and every day. Try something challenging, try again and again. Try something challenging, don't give up my friend. A challenge is the perfect food to make your brain grow. So each and every day, give it a go. Grow your brain, give it work to do. Grow your brain, learn something new. Grow your brain to be a smarter you. Give the challenge a go and help your brain grow.
It may sound funny, but it is true, right? Anyway, I hope you guys fall in love with Ubongo too. He's so puzzled.